Well, I'm delighted to be joined by my former colleague in the House, Ron Makeley, but Governor McKee, Mayor Smiley, Lieutenant Governor Matos, all of the individuals here from the Convention Center and AMP. We are planning for the 124th meeting of the Army and Navy football teams at Foxborough in December. This is a historic event, one of the few times it's been outside of either Philadelphia or the Washington metropolitan region. And Ron and I have both rooted for our teams for many years. We've both been at Army-Navy games as plebes, as firsties, and as distinguished alumni. So we have a little bit of perceptions about it. But the one thing that we both agree is after 60 minutes of really ferocious football, and the whole season really is that one game for so many of us, they all come together. They marched as a teams together to the end zone of the losing team, and they sing the hymn of that school. And then they march to the end zone of the winning team and sing that hymn. That is probably the strongest example of, despite the opposition on the field, there is a unity of purpose, there is a dedication to country, there is a profound mutual respect for all who wear the uniform, either Army or Navy. But as I said inside, I always prefer when Army sings the song last because the better team has won. And with that, let me recognize the president of Emeritus of Bryant University.
Thank you very much, Senator. What a great honor it is for me to be co-chair with the senator from Rhode Island, a great Rhode Islander and a distinguished patriot, a graduate of West Point, and also a great friend. We look forward to this exciting event. It will be the first time the Army-Navy game has been played in New England. Rhode Island has a tremendous tradition of serving the military. In fact, from the Revolutionary War to present, we have a Navy presence here. And the day before the Army-Navy game, there'll be thousands of midshipmen who will come to this very building and spend the night because it's logistically impossible for them to travel on the morning of the game to Foxborough, where this game will be played. And so Rhode Island has the unique opportunity to not only be the host for many midshipmen, but for families and guests who will come from all over the country and frankly, all over the world. And last year, it was an anomaly that West Point won. It was in overtime. But with a new coach at Navy, I have great hope that this will be a different time and Navy will win this very prestigious game. But as the senator said, although this is great rivalry, and we all root for our team, and millions of Americans root for their service team, and millions of patriot men and women who are serving in the armed services root for their team. When the game is over, the rivalry is over, and the members of the Army and the Navy football teams and their schools become colleagues. They have defended our country since the beginning of our nation, and they will continue to defend our country. General MacArthur allegedly said, "I have a very serious and very important mission. Find me a West Point football player," because he knew he could carry forward. So on behalf of our senator and myself, we look forward to working together to make this a great day. I know our governor is excited to have so many visitors to this state, the mayor of Providence. Even Newport is going to roll out the carpet to make this an exciting day. Governor?
Congressman, thank you. And you couldn't have better representation here. Thank you for your service, Congressman. Senator, thank you for your service as well. You know, I'll be out there cheering for the game and making sure it's a great game. But to be here at the Convention Center and knowing the work that has been done, you know, work in advance several years to make this happen and make this a reality. I want to thank our you people at the Convention Center, our Commerce Department, our chambers. Kristen, thank you so much. And also the leadership with the mayor stepping forward, you know, making be a host to the midshipmen. Thousands of people are going to come to our area They're going to see this great state of Rhode Island. I love the theme, Phil, that you're talking about in terms of the history of Rhode Island, in terms of our best foot forward to let people know about what Rhode Island is all about. This is just another indication about the momentum that the state has. To be able to be in a position to not only host a game of games, right, the national game, but also to be able to put our best step forward in terms of the state of Rhode Island and welcoming people from all over the country. Thousands and thousands of people are going to be at the Gillette Stadium to see that game from all areas of the country. We are a destination that we are very proud of, and I believe that in the end, we're going to show, and Rhode Island's going to shine. But back to the Army-Navy, thank you so much, Congressman, for doing this. Thank you, Senator. I thank our congressional delegation. Every time I get to the mic, this is no exception, for your leadership prior to and now during the pandemic, now post-pandemic. And with that, I think I'll hand it over to Brett, and it looks like he's next online to kind of say a few words about what's going to happen here in Providence. So, Mayor, congratulations, and we'll do a great job, right?
Thank you, Governor. Yes, we will. And thank you to the co-chairs, Congressman Makeley and Senator Reed. I am committed on behalf of the entire city staff to making sure that this is an incredible event for Providence and for Greater Providence, to make sure that the visitor experience is second to none. City government, the police department, our Department of Arts, Culture, and Tourism, the emergency management folks, everyone is hard at work to make sure that those visiting Providence know what we all locally already know, which is that this is a world-class city and should be a destination for everybody every year as part of their travel plans. And so it's a really exciting opportunity. We are focused on economic impact to make sure that the hoteliers, the restaurants, everyone in the creative capital is going to benefit from the impact that this game will have. It's not just the midshipmen, but also the alumni, the parents, the fans from across the region and across the country that will come to enjoy this game and enjoy our fabulous capital city of Providence. We are committed to doing what it takes to make sure that everyone has a safe, healthy, meaningful experience so that they come back every summer, every winter thereafter to make sure that they can enjoy what we know is so special here in Providence. So I want to thank the organizers, the Convention and Visitors Bureau, the folks here at the Convention Center Authority for providing a world-class venue, the folks at the Craft Organization at Foxborough who've been critical partners here. Providence is ready to make this a great event. Madam Governor?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. As I was saying earlier, the Office of Lieutenant Governor has a tradition of working with our military families and the military here in the state of Rhode Island. And I'm looking forward to welcoming all of them for this game that's going to be historic here in New England. I want to make sure that once they come here, their families come here, they discover the beautiful Rhode Island, we can showcase everything that we have to offer, and we can have them come back year after year. So not just to Providence, Mayor, but also to the state of Rhode Island. They have to discover Newport, discover Block Island, and everything else that we have to offer. So I'm looking forward to hosting all of you here. Thanks.
We can open it up to questions. We have Phil Buttafuoco here from the Craft Sports and Entertainment Group, Liz Tanner from Commerce, and Nick Kimball-Huntley from Commerce. Dan McConaughey from the Convention Center Authority, Larry LaCour from the Convention Center and AMP, and I'm Kristen Adamo from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. So please feel free.
Games in Foxborough, right?
Yes. Gillette Stadium.
Okay. And what role is Rhode Island playing in this?
Well, I'll jump in, but Kristen and colleagues
Sure.
better. One of the stumbling blocks over the years, and the Kraft family has tried diligently over many years to get the Army-Navy game, was the fact that it's such a long bus ride from Annapolis that they really couldn't do it the morning of the game. So they needed a place to really put up all the midshipmen who are not traveling on their own. So I think there's an estimate about 90 buses coming out of Annapolis, coming up to Providence in the afternoon before the game. They'll be put up in the convention center, lush I'm sure, quarters. Better than you get in the Army, I can assure you of that. I can assure you of that. And then they
Does
will.
West Point have to find their own way? Or does
West Point, fortunately, it's about a 4-hour bus drive. And they will get up early in the morning, and they will be at Foxborough Stadium at 9:30, and then they will drift off wherever they might go. Maybe even some down here to Providence.
I think the expectation is for about 2,000 midshipmen to come up on those 90 buses, and they will be housed here with the finest accommodations, and they will then, on the morning of the game, get up at about 5. Some of them will have remained up, and then they will go to the game and then go directly back to Annapolis.
Forgive me, but did either of you play?
I played as a freshman.
I played intramural football. I was too small even for the 150-pound football.
Then I played 150-pound for the next 3 years, and we won 3 Army-Navy games. So. Just saying.
And we won the big game.
They won the big game, yes.
You had to give them
But
something.
Jack and I have a lot in common besides having represented our state. I think we both lost on our plebe year. He lost to Navy, and I lost to Army, which was a big deal because your plebe year would be secured if you won for the rest of the time till Christmas. And so, for both of us, we had to endure.
We were both favored to win.
Yes.
And we were upset, and it was miserable.
Yes.
Absolutely miserable. So.
But it's a great tradition, and it's a really American sport.
Are there any events around the game that will be staged here in Rhode Island during the days leading up to and on the day of the event?
I'm going to let Larry take that one.
Yeah, Frank, there are events at the AMP for the midshipmen the night they came. Unfortunately, we can't announce who it is because we've got a commitment, but we don't have a signed contract. And we're hoping that there will be another event Saturday evening also at the AMP.
Are those things that the public is invited to as well?
There will be a certain amount of tickets that will be given to the midshipmen, but the public, they will be on sale for both those events,
When you
yes.
say an event, a concert?
I would rather not identify that at this time, Frank.
It's not a church service.
We're also hoping to have a water fire on the Saturday night, so that there'll be things to do after the game as well, for anyone who's in the destination.
It's actually a exposition of navigation by the stars using.
Yes, yes, they'll be
The
outside.
Navy guys are very dull, very dull.
Of course, Army will be out there in tents, camped out, waiting for the event, so.
In camouflage,
In
waiting
camouflage.
to sneak into the stadiums. That's the only way we do it. Well, thank you all very much.
Is there an estimated financial benefit to the city or the state? Or?
Well, as a contrast, last year Philadelphia, it was estimated it was a $30 million bounce to the city in terms of hotel rooms, dining out, all sorts of activities, entertainment. So it's going to be a multi-million-dollar event for the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island.
And forgive me, it's ordinarily played in Philadelphia, right?
90 times it's been played in Philadelphia. This will be the 124th year. This is the first time it's been in New England. Once in Illinois when they dedicated Soldiers Field, once out in California. Baltimore's had a few times. I think Maryland has had 10 and New York has had 10. But it's because of the proximity. This is the first time that they've ever tried to go really outside of their close transportation area. And it's going to also, I think, personally, be a real opportunity to see how we can work with other events out of the craft organization for the future. In Rhode Island, because of our close proximity to Foxborough, we are a logical place for a lot of people to come and stay and eat in our restaurants and enjoy the fine culture.
And we've heard talk about this for some time. How long has this been in the works, or talking about
Larry?
bringing them to the Foxborough?
We
And you can step to the microphone. I appreciate it.
You might introduce yourself, Phil.
I'm Phil Buttafuoco, Executive Director of Special Events for Craft Sports and Entertainment. We've worked on the Army-Navy bid for 12 years. We formally bid 3 times. And so we're ecstatic about bringing America's game to New England, really where America started. And so with all the American history, it's just it's a perfect marriage, if you will.
What was the turning point for you? Why did it work this year where it hasn't worked in past years?
Well, I think I think over time, relationships are really important. Our efforts with both academies and our knowledge of the event, but also our knowledge of the people involved with the event, the alumni from both academies. We've really built those relationships in understanding their needs and what they want out of the game. But also, as the Senator and Congressman mentioned, the overnight for the midshipmen was extremely important. And with our partners here, we have a great plan going forward, and the Navy specifically is comfortable with our efforts.
How important was the involvement of Providence and the state of Rhode Island in getting the bid?
I will tell you that if we didn't have the relationship here, we would not have the game. So Providence and the state of Rhode Island is extremely important to our ability to attract the game to New England, but it's going to be extremely important to the success of the game and having any chances of bringing the event back in the future. But as Kristen mentioned earlier, we believe this will lay some great foundation and groundwork for other possible events in the future too.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Take care. Go Army!
I got some more things to do, but it's okay.
Few things.
That's okay. Senator, thank you.
Great.
Good luck now. Yeah. Now be nice. Be nice.
I'll be up here, I'm retired.
But it could be